We are here for Marz Magik, brought to you by V.O.I.C.E.S Radio, where valuable opportunities inspire collaborations to elevate society. Yes, yes, y'all. We are radioactive right here on WUTU 88.3 on your FM dial, where we bring you the best in community and old school classics with a little spin every now and again. All right. But most importantly, we are keeping alive those revolving sounds, those tunes that not only get us in the mood to groove, but also have powerful messages that continue to empower and uplift us day to day. All right. Because if nothing else, we most definitely need it as individuals, as a people, as a community, as a nation. All right. And so we are in the month of June. It's official. And, we talked about all of the things that were filled in May, but it's a lot that's packed into June too. So May Day is leading us into Juneteenth, along with a lot of other amazing community activities that are taking place in and around Southwest Georgia. On the web, virtually, it's stuff happening. And then there's migraine, headache awareness. There is PTSD awareness. And we're like, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. All right. And it's not just something that our military vets, our military, armed forces, service officers deal with. It's not just something that children who've gone through childhood abuse deal with. It's not just something that people who are victims of domestic violence or, the loss of a loved one due to homicide or gun violence at the hands of the police. PTSD is a real thing, and it affects more of us than we like to admit. And as a people, when we talk about PTSD, we have to know and understand that every day we are taking on stressors. We are taking them on, yet we are not letting them go. All right. So we are holding on to our stress, to the homie stress, to the coworker stress, to the boss stress, to the cousin stress, to the children stress, to the partner stress. And guess what? It's causing these migraines and these headaches. You know what I'm saying? And it's not enough that June tends to be leading into the heat wave of July and major summer, exhaustion. I mean, kids are out of school. It's hot. The sun is beaming its rays like never before. And it's a lot to take on. So it makes sense that PTSD and headache, migraine awareness both take place in the month of June. However, there are things that we as a people, as individuals can do. And we talked about those last month when we talked about mental health awareness. And it all goes back to full body service. And we talk about full body care when it comes to our cars, when it comes to our homes, but we have to make sure that we're doing full body checkups on ourselves as well, because we're being pulled in every direction possible, plus those that don't even exist, we know existed, right? And so when we talk about being pulled, right, there's also a thing called pull marketing, right? And pull marketing strategy. And when we talk about pull marketing, just like the things when we talk about these prescriptions for PTSD and other things and migraines, and then they want to push Serena on us so that we pull these migraine medicines into our cabinets and into our bodies. But it's like, do I even need this medication? Or do I actually just need to sit down, think about what is stressing me, let it go, because I don't need that energy no more, you know what I'm saying? And actually moving forward. And so when we talk about pull marketing strategies, it's also known as pull promotional strategies. According to our AI overview, All right. So it is a marketing strategy that aims to increase demand for a product or service by attracting customers to the business. The goal is to make consumers want a product and actively seek it out. It makes you want the product. Why? Because it tells you it's life changing. Like we see the commercials in the ads now with the bottle full of like 1,000,000 grapes. We're gonna go to the store and eat some red grapes. Go buy you a fresh bag of red seeded grapes out of the grocery store. Let that be your first stop in the produce section, but you'll go and you'll buy these reductions in a bottle because they're pushing it on you and pulling you into the matrix. All right. So we have to just stop going with the flow because that's what the people are telling us we need to be doing. Ultimately, they are playing on our emotions. They're playing on our feelings and our intellect. And these aren't things that we actually need. What we need is the real thing, which is the actual grapes, not these bottles of pills that are supposed to be grape extracts. Like, do we really know that this is grape extract? How did you turn it into a powder form? You know what I'm saying? It grapes to be wet. I don't know. I'm just saying. Dehydrated them next is, well, okay, well, let's just go dehydrate some grapes. But we'll let them pull us into anything, right? And it's a cliche saying that if we don't stand for something, we'll fall for anything, right? And it's not really that cliche. And businesses, marketers, advertisement companies, they know and understand this. And this is what they teach you in business school when you go to school for business management, business administration, anything to do with business. This is a part of your curriculum. Why? Because you gotta know how to finesse the people into wanting what it is that you're selling, even if they have absolutely no use for it. And that's what's happening to our young people, to our children, when we talk about the commercials and all of these gadgets that they sit at the counter when we checking out, when we talk about the overflow of brightly colored junk food that is now being pushed further and further to the front, is to pull you in. Pull you into what? An unhealthy lifestyle. One that is not focused on you, but focused on that yellow bag of Lay's or that yellow bag of M&M's, that orange assortment of Reese's. Like they got hundreds of them. So every day we are what? We are battling the system. We are battling the programs that are being put in place to distract us from what is mostly important, and that is us, our health, our mental health, our physical health, our financial well-being, because we spending like frivolously just on random stuff that just don't even matter. And then we'll say, oh, well, I'm $10 short on my lights. I'm gonna set up a GoFundMe for a wedding. Bro, why are you setting up a GoFundMe for a wedding? Cut back on your spending. Prioritize like what it is that you're really doing. Because if you cannot support this woman, this potential family, bruh, like you don't need to be doing it. I'm just saying, but this is the whole pool. Now we can do whatever we want because we got GoFundMe. And what GoFundMe really means is you gonna fund me. Like whatever it is. Like, why pay for insurance? Why why pay your rent every month? Because they can fund you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's making us a world of just
this is accurate.
This is the world that we are now living in. And I watched the video and it was so interesting because it was a classroom full of kids, right? And they so excited. They got the cell phones, one cell phone to the little girl head this way, one cell phone to the little girl head that way. And it's like waves where it look like information being downloaded. She jumps up and she runs to the chalkboard. And the question is like 2 plus 2. And she put equals 3. And everybody's like, yeah! Clapping her up, clapping up. That's the internet. That's these pool marketing strategies. They are filling us with a load of crap, got us going out here making improper, like irrational, just downright ignorant choices. And then the internet turn around and do what? Celebrate you and hype you up and be like, yes, good job, way to go. And then when they cut them phones off and they really sitting kicking the breeze with their homies. Bro, did you just see what Shawty did on the web? And she thought that was, bro, like, this is not what's going on. We talking about full body, holistic healing, holistic wellness from the top of your head, tippy top to the sole of your feet. But they out here trying to pull us into a full body deodorant campaign, people. Something that is good for your armpits is also good for your genitals. It's also good for your neck rolls. It's good for the sweat behind your knee cracks. Bruh, how? Why? Because the OBGYN was like, oh, let me come up with something that we can use on the whole body to kill body odor. Bruh, no, what you need to do, because the female body is self-cleansing, and we as people naturally have body odor, but we'll make fun at our brothers and sisters off of the continent or from the islands in the Caribbean because they actually love how they smell naturally without deodorant, without hiding and masking their natural body scent, without clogging their pores under their arms that are directly connected to your breast area. Bruh, but then we wonder why breast cancer, why ovarian cancer, and we already battling this war with talcum powder. So why would we want to take the same stuff we put in under our arms and put it on our genitals? Like, let's just think about that. But it's gonna be 100 of us, 1,000,000 of us, thousands running to the store like full body, I'm good. Bro, no, like slow your roll, grab a shower. I mean, it's okay, 2 or 3 of them a day if necessary. You feel me? A couple stink wash offs in the middle of the heat to keep the funk down, so you ain't just like touching them in their face when you greet them. But ultimately, what we need when it comes to full body is full body deprogramming and reactivation. Like, if we want to deodorize, it's a lot of funk that we carry and we walk around with every day that we done picked up off the streets. Again, we done picked up out these classrooms, out these offices, out these town hall meetings.
People don't use baby wipes. That's the whole discussion right now.
Shout out to Adam, aka Sweet Juice in the building. People do or don't use baby wipes.
They don't.
But baby wipes are for babies, not adults.
They're for extra clean. Okay.
Like, hey, I ain't even gonna play with it. They most definitely do have the dude wipes, you know what I'm saying, for the extra squeakiness. So we ain't gotta, and it's so funny because this is like the day for the randomness on because, like, but seriously, if we want to deodorize, like, we need to think about that. And then it's one thing to deodorize, but then when we have the antiperspirants, these are things that are actually blocking your prostration, like your glands that are designed for the purpose of sweating and releasing. So again, what are we pulling into our space that is beneficial And what are we pulling into our space that is not beneficial, that we actually need to remove and release because it's causing us to be funky out here? You know what I'm saying? And then if we really like want to continue to talk about, you know, the PTSD, let's think about these elections.
Buddy.
And the political system, or the lack of a political system, you know, when it comes to how we govern ourselves on a day-to-day in our community. When we talk about real culture and what that looks like, when we talk about really having a system of order, of law and order, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't remember in this particular lifetime, but I remember in a life where we governed ourselves, where whatever Adam was teaching to his children in his house, I was teaching to my children in my house. And when our children got together, they already knew what was up. Because my mama don't play that. My mama don't play that. Exactly. Boy, we better like...
That's it.
It's a code of conduct. A standard of excellence. A sense of morals. I remember they used to teach us morals and values in school, and you have to do the little chart and you have to list all of your morals over here and your values over there. It's like, ain't they the same thing? Kind of, sort of, not really.
Kind of, sort of, not really.
But they do cross over each other. You know what I'm saying? It's like a Robin Hood effect. It's like, well, morally, I know that stealing is wrong, but my value is in making sure that my people eat. So I'm finna go out here and steal from the rich and do it, give back to the poor, because that's what we're dealing with right now when we talk about our political system. It is a classism situation. The rich get richer. The poor ain't even realized they poor yet.
Yo, no, they know it. They know it.
Okay, hey, yo, when I see convertibles and 26s in the projects, I don't know that the poor know they poor. It's a disconnect. And it goes back into the pull marketing. Because you're being pulled into a trap to say, like, okay, I'm gonna depend on this government assistance. That again goes to your morals and your values. But I really want to ride in this supercar and feel like I'm luxurious because I know I am, but I'm still being pulled back into this system because if I go any further this way, they gonna snatch this. If I go any further that way, they gonna snatch that. Bruh, it's a tug of war. So then we have to choose what is more important.
Your life, hopefully.
That's what I'm saying. And because our lives are more important, we have to hold these elected officials accountable.
Hey, yeah.
We have to hold ourselves accountable. Because guess what? It's a limited amount of us who vote on a regular, consistent basis. The majority of them are not in my age range, in my social class, you know what I'm saying, my demographic.
Yeah.
And what happens? We get the same results over and over again. And what is that called, Adam, when you do the same thing continuously expecting miraculously different results? I think it's insanity.
Insanity. You out your mind. 60 years ago, in April, Malcolm X delivered the Ballad or the Bullet speech.
60 years ago?
Yes.
In April?
Yes. So it's been 60 years. And I was just reading, I'm talking about, you're talking about holding the voters, holding elected leaders accountable. And in the speech, he talks about, in fact, he might as well have wrote the speech yesterday. Right. Doggone it, the stuff that he's saying, because I'm quoting actually his speech in the article that I'm writing, talking about how Albany needs a caucus. Albany needs a caucus because we don't organize our politics, and because we don't have our politics organized, it's just haywire. It's just foolishness. And so I want to. If actually, did you remember the East Side growing up? Did you go to the East Side? Okay.
When we had a movie theater.
Tom, come on now.
When we had actual.
Thank you.
Life.
We had 3 grocery stores on the East Side, dog. Right. We had Winn-Dixie, Harvey's, and Warehouse Foods, dog. 3 grocery stores. We used to have 3 banks. We had the SunTrust, Bank of America, and Heritage over there. Yeah, we had Roses, R.I.P. We had movie gallery and video warehouse. Yes. We written movie. East Side was booming. East Side was booming, and now we no longer have the East Side. Right. Which is why I said we need.
Well, and even having the theater over there, it was like
the Georgia 7, the Georgia 7.
No. And our movie theaters hung in there for a long time. They hung in there long as they could. I remember even when the one on Slappy turned into the Dollar Theater, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, but the screens were glitching in them all. But again, they are pulling everything out of our communities that is beneficial, that is useful, that is productive, that is of meaning. Even when we talk about industry, most of the industry that was in the city was on the East Side. When we talk about Procter & Gamble, when we talk about Cooper Ties, when we talk about
Colson Clark,
and Colson Clark, bro, that is a huge factory and it is a major eyesore. So when people be talking about behind the mill, bro.
Yeah, it sounds like you in a pot behind the stove.
Right, it makes you think about something off of like a old movie, Milltown, just people out there sick. They didn't got
everybody dirty with their faces all dirty. It's like baby.
But it ain't too far from that. I mean, think about it. This is the good life city, but the dirty county. How you got a good life in dirt?
Well, it depends on the nutrients in that dirt. Right. And we gotta use it to grow something healthy.
Right.
That's how we turn that around.
See, and that's something else, right? Soil, the richness, the fertilization, the pH levels, the nutrients of the soil. So when we talk about our foundation, when we talk about what's been put into the ground here, what's been already laid out for us, bro. Like you said, all we got to do is plant it.
You know what? Speaking of the ground, speaking of dirt, everybody, just moment of silence and R.I.P. for the sand dunes. R.I.P. to the sand dunes. Have you been by the sand dunes recently and seen all the mess they doing out there?
I saw like some diggers and.
Nah, ain't no more sand dunes, dad. Ain't no more sand dunes. I don't want to hear it. Like it's a small little sliver of sand dunes that's left that Albany State owns, like a tiny little block. The rest of it Oxford Construction owns, and they are doing something outrageous. I don't know what they doing, but we know like that was one of our wonders of like Georgia has 8 wonders of the world. Like
and the Albany sand dunes outside of our Raven Springs was one.
Yeah. So
been featured in Jeezy videos. You know, y'all thought this man was really out there in Saudi Arabia somewhere.
I mean, we've all been in Georgia. All been in Georgia, dog. And so it's stuff like that. And we just silent about it. We just allow people to, because Bruce Melton owns Oxford Construction. Oxford Construction is registered in Lee County. So we just allowing folks to come into our city. I granted, Bruce Melton,
but he's in Lee County.
He's in Lee County.
But it's still Albany right there where Oxford.
That's Albany.
Yeah.
So like I don't know him, and I'm sure that a lot of folks got a lot of positive things to say about Bruce Melton. But what I have to say is that they're destroying the sand dunes, and that's just the statement right there.
Right.
So R.I.P. to the sand dunes. You were speaking about dirt, and that came up in my mind. I had to go. I was researching that recently because I drove by there, and growing up, we had the sand dunes, and we would go out there. I done had so many experiences out there. I was at workout, random campouts.
Right.
Like, man, it's been so much fun. We used to roll down them hills, and now we can't do that no more. It's gone. And so it is not being replaced by anything else of value like that again. We won't ever have that again. And
then somebody else is somewhere sitting like, Adam, it was a lot of sand, bruh.
Like, And they don't understand, they don't understand, and that's it. Like people don't value everything, I guess, the same
the
way.
little
And that makes
things,
sense.
right?
Yeah, but when it comes down to it, and you think about nature and natural wonders and things that attract people to places, that was one. Like
Most
that was
definitely.
a natural wonder that, like, you ain't gonna find that huge collection of just sand like nowhere else in the state. Like,
no,
so
you're not.
it is. But we don't take pride in our home. We're disconnected from our home, and
because those are things,
actually,
like you say, that make the Good Life City, like
it makes it unique. It makes people remember. Oh man, I went to that. You know. So, and now we don't have that no more. So my thing is that it had to go through. It had to go through some steps, and I think Oxford Construction, when I looked on the Q Public, I think they've owned that land for some years, but it just hadn't done anything with it. Nobody did anything with it. But like, I need to find out, I guess, where the butt stops with that, because it's really bothering me. It really bothers me, because I want my goddamn sand dunes, but I mean, they got a right to do whatever they want that land. But to me, that just reflects a disconnection between the community and this entity that's tearing down and destroying our sand dunes. Right. And so, granted, if unless they putting something there that the East Side desperately needs, i.e. a grocery store or a hospital or something like that, that's actually meeting a need, then cool. But we know that ain't what's going over there. At worst or best, it's probably some warehouses. We're gonna probably destroy the sand dunes and put some warehouse buildings up so niggas can store crap. Right. Like, or a storage unit, or something stupid. Cause the storage units, the title ponds, the car washes, the liquor stores. Come on, Dad. Let's talk about the liquor store rally and how that went last week. Man, I was there. Yes. Yeah. So they voted it down. So, man, okay, back up to. So where are they trying to put this liquor store? Let me put me on the screen. I ain't been talking the whole time. I ain't up there. But they don't need to see me no way. Hello? Hello? There we go. All right. Anyway, I'll see y'all tomorrow morning. But no, so at the meeting, there was, and I spoke to the guys who actually had the application. I spoke to, what's his name? I forgot it. Anyway, so we get there. By the time I got there, they was already talking, introducing the point. And there were apparently two licenses that went through. Both of them got voted down unanimously. Now, in the past, wards 2, 4, and 5, that's Jalen Johnson, Warpington, and Lane staff, they always approving crap. They approve the liquor stores no matter what the heck, and then Bo Duro, as the final vote, as the mayor, approves it on through. So they always get by with a 4-3 majority. This time, there had been a good bit of canvassing that went out before. So Uyghur Rising was out passing the information. They had a petition that we were signing, and they had businesses and people sign saying no more liquor stores in East Albany. I myself was on social media posting, tagging folks. I tagged on as many local elected officials as I could. I was like, no more liquor stores in Albany. So when we got to the meeting, they were fully aware, and Gloria Gaines was in there. She was the county commission, but she was present. Other folks were present, and Howard in Ward 1 voted no. Jalen Johnson surprisingly voted against it, and then Dip voted against it. So at that point, they knew Commissioner Young would vote against it. So Warrington and Lane staff went ahead and voted against it too, to go ahead and save face. But they typically, them fools voting to approve liquor licenses. But so, because I think of the work that was done on the back end and all the canvassing that we did, we were able to get to influence them to vote it down. So now then, the Indian fellow who had the application, he stepped outside, and I stepped outside with him and pulled him to the side, and he was so sad. He sounded so so defeated. He was like, "Oh, why didn't it pass? Why didn't it the thing pass?" And I had to explain to him, "Well, sir," I said, "Where you from?" He's like, "Well, we're out of Atlanta." I said, "Okay, well, here in East Albany, it's predominantly black, predominantly poor, and that side of town has been getting a ridiculous amount of liquor licenses recently, and we don't want no more." He said, "Well, I won't sell liquor, just beer and wine, just beer and wine." I said, "Yeah, even with that, the side of town is pretty sensitive with it." He said, "Well, I wanted to put a grocery store." I said, "Well, we ain't gonna have no problem with that. If you come to the table, you're honest about putting a grocery store and what kind of foods that you plan to get in there, I'm sure there wouldn't be no problem getting that through." So we exchanged information. Ganchi, that's the name. Ghanchi. Ganchi was his name. So we talked, and I said, because what happens is, and what we see, There's no follow-up. There's no follow-through. The need is that we have East Albany needs businesses.
It does.
East Albany needs investors and investments. We don't need liquor stores.
No.
But clearly this businessman has an interest in this side of town. So what we need to do as local leaders, what hasn't been done by our local leadership, is to follow up and let them know what our needs are.
That part.
And then give them incentives to bringing those needs. Let them know, hey, look, we'll give you tax breaks for the next 2-3 years or 5 years, whatever it is, to really incentivize you, because you want a liquor store, but we need this. So if you bring this, we'll incentivize you and help you to do that. But they're not doing it. Right. We don't have no leadership.
We have other organizations and entities that are attempting to bring a food hub, a whole like learning center around food education. And
shout out to the Sharad, man.
Right. Cause we gonna sit at the table,
listen.
Regardless of what you think, regardless of how you feel, we gonna have our seat at the table, cause we gonna bring our own chair, bro.
There you go.
We just started bringing these folding chairs out. We've been bringing our own chairs and things.
I got me a shirt too.
And get what? If Alan bring a chair, I bring a chair. I get a couple more people to bring chairs. We can make a table.
Oh, that's real. Okay, yeah. All right. Okay. I was going to somewhere else. We can make a table.
But we can. And again, that goes back to our city leadership and what our city chooses to get behind and push, as opposed to just pulling on our heartstrings, because they are continuing to be put into these offices. And like you said, these people are typically all for the negatives. Because get what? It ain't coming on my side. So I don't care what happens on your side. But it can't be like that, because Albany includes all sides.
There you go. And people don't understand how the loss of economy and loss of industry, loss of other things on this side of town is affecting the other side of town. And because what you're having now is the bleed over. You're having now violence and crime and stuff happening on the Upper West Side and all of this. And people, oh, I'm so scared now. You weren't scared when it was just on the South Side. You was fine with them killing each other. But now it's in your backyard, you were. But to prevent that, why don't we work together to meet the needs of all of Albany? But they refuse. And so because it's this whole, well, that's not my problem. It's not my problem. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
And so, until we actually have this come together moment, like everybody saw, we need to come together. We need to come together.
But when we gonna come together, and when we get together, what are we really gonna do?
There you go. Speaking of something, why we need a caucus. I can't wait. I'm gonna finish this article and we talking about.
All I keep seeing in my head is like when I was on the debate team, and then like inserting myself into Dear White People, and it's just like, bro, we the Black Caucus. We can go to the Dave Chappelle show. We trade off.
There you go. That's right. We got to get rid of Jalen Johnson. We're going to trade Jalen Johnson for somebody that makes sense. Yeah, dang it. Like, man, y'all can have. He don't want us. Yeah, for real. Like the black delegation.
They going to be like, Nexus. What Nexus? That's be on the radio. I heard that voice. Hey, but look, this is the thing about it. Sometimes we have to stop and get out of our quote unquote comfort zones and get uncomfortable just a little bit in order for things to really change, in order for a difference to really be made. Because for us to have a DA who's going blind, who's
Greg was
had strokes, and strokes impact like your mental ability to like make.
Dang.
But we'll listen to these ads. Oh, he's won this award, and he was acknowledged by the state as DA of this and DA of that. What does that really mean, though?
That's the same mess. They were like, why are we fooling with Biden? His old behind, slurring speech, stumbling around, falling, poor thing, can't stay awake. Like,
but people refuse to say that it's something wrong with him.
Exactly. They so delusional. They just don't want to exist in reality.
When I said, hey, yo, I think y'all president got dementia or some type of like Alzheimer's, he just old and need to sit down. And they like, oh, well, I'd rather have him than, bro, like, what can he do for you?
Besides die soon. Like, my nigga. Like,
and that's it.
That's it. Like, and it comes
like, we all have a clock that's winding down. But, bro, we are seeing it played out on national television. And everybody's like, oh, no, he's okay. He's doing an amazing job. What are you talking about? Bro, you ain't see when he was...
Couldn't get his words out?
What do y'all be listening to?
Like, I can't even watch the news no more when Biden's speaking because I'm honestly afraid that he's going to slur his speech. And that bothers my spirit so much that I just don't want to see it. And he's like, nigga, what? And y'all just gonna everybody act like that's normal. You know, we didn't see. Nigga, y'all just stop. I'm so sorry.
And again, they are pulling us into this system. And we'll sit every day on all of our free time watching this Trump trial. Bro, who cares?
That right there. That. But man,
we have local officials who do not care about the people in their congressional district, in their county wards, in their city wards. Like, we have people who are out here who are supposed to be in leadership positions, in positions of authority, who we have willingly, voluntarily offered a piece of our like selves to and say, hey, I'm gonna entrust you with this part of my well-being, with this part of my life, with this part of my children's life, when we talk about education systems. But then we'll be pulled into a matrix and be like, oh yeah, that sounds real good. We're gonna open up an independent school. We're gonna make a difference in the lives of young men in our community. We gonna raise this money. We gonna battle the system because our school system ain't this, our school system ain't that. And it really is a load of trash sometimes.
Yes. And school system needs some work.
And when we talk about pulling again, we'll be pulled into relinquishing our children, not just part of the day, but part of their life to a person and be like, yeah, I'm gonna just step back and whatever you say, that's what they gonna do. Are we creating slaves? Are we creating independent free thinkers? Are we allowing our children to be pulled into an occult? I don't know. I'm just talking about what I'm talking about. I ain't said nothing really yet. You know what I'm saying? Because when we talk about this budget meeting that just took place on yesterday in the city for these 300 million.
Listen, $300 million.
I ain't say 3 million. I ain't say 3.3 million. I ain't say 30 million. I said $300 million that our city leaders, our city managers, our city developers have access to.
It's 317 million to be a little bit more exact. So even after you spend that 300 million, you still got 17 more million. It's a big budget, dog. It's a big budget. And so
let's just think real quick with these 15 minutes. How much can be done in our city with $317 million? Man, these roads that y'all pretend to pave and fix, can we get them fixed for real? I think that ought to be in the infrastructure plan somewhere.
Now, see, you've got this $300 million that comes through the city every year. You have people
say that again for the people, Adam.
You have this $300 million budget that comes through the city every year.
Every year?
Every year.
Albany, Georgia.
317 million every year
is allocated to our city, to us.
And I agree. And this 317 million is mainly taxes that's been paid in some shape or form.
That's why I said that's our money.
Now, in addition to that, well, we don't exercise. I said, we don't doggone come to these meetings and hold these people accountable. Because at this budget meeting that was earlier today, would have been the opportunity to present ideas on how that money should have been funded and how where we think it should go. Now, when we did this during the 2020 budget meeting, they had the Biden rescue money, the $20 million that came from Joe Biden rescue plan. And several people went in front of the city commission and explained to them how they could use a fraction of that money to make a huge impact with the youth, with jobs, with food access, with healthcare access, with all these different things. NYSP went up there asking for money.
And
all these different youth
groups like that. My mom was an NYSP like instructor when she was like fresh out of high school. Why don't we have programs like that are funded by the city?
And Boys and Girls Club also too went up there asking for money.
Parks and Rec.
And they
why are our children paying for summer programs?
They voted all this down. I went up in front of the commission and told them how they could invest less than $250,000, which is less than 5%. I don't even know what percent that is. It's a little percent of that $20 million. And you can invest that and make self-sustaining community gardens throughout the city. One-time investment, because the plan that we had written out fully had how you could make sure that this was off of the city's power and off of the city's water. So you wouldn't even be using the city's energy or anything. It would be a self-sustained community garden that could feed the surrounding communities. Fully written out plan.
Why would they want to do that when they like the facade of Farmer Guy and Phoebe?
Listen, Dad. Listen.
Why would they consider that when they don't support the table? Why would they want to do that when they don't support edible landscaping throughout the city? Bro, you're out here all the time putting out flowers, new shrubs and trees, laying out all this straw and hay. Bro, put us out some edible
plant some food trees, plant some fruit trees, peach trees, apple trees, lemon trees, plant the trees.
And we start to solve the problem of a lack of grocery stores, lack of quality produce, lack of access to quality produce. Like we start to reduce these headaches and these parents not knowing where their next meal gonna come from because WIC ain't enough, food stamps ain't enough. Like it's the summertime, we ain't getting no increases, but these kids still need to eat. But if I could just go out here in the middle of Broad and pick me a couple of oranges, apples, and peaches, a couple of plums.
Listen, Dad.
Bro, we can snack and munch all summer.
I want a pear tree. Man, I ain't had a pear in a long time.
That sounds real good. I ain't neither.
I need some pears.
Our pear tree produce. Like, and my aunt used to make, like, we used to have to pick her buckets, like 3 of those 5-gallon buckets of pears, and she would make preserves and pass them out to like all of the family for holidays. And it's like
that no more, Dad.
That's what I'm saying. Because they pulling us everywhere but where we need to be. People like preserves. What is that, bro? If you don't know what a preserve is, I'm gonna get like Elder Harper. Bro, what is this jar?
Yeah,
this is a mason jar. What is it really used for? Not moonshine, but canning food.
That's it. That right there. That you love that lesson. I like hearing it too.
I do, right? What else we got, Adam, before we get out of here?
Man, shoot. I was trying to,
tomorrow, what time for
tomorrow? Shoot, tune in tomorrow, Wednesday morning for the live, 8:30 in the morning. We're gonna be live at Albany Forward for a Facebook group. Make sure y'all join and tune in. We're gonna talk more about this budget. We're gonna talk more about the goings on in the city. The job posting for city manager officially went out today for the city. The salary pays somewhere between $225,000 to $275,000 a year.
And what's the qualifications?
In fact, let's pull it up. I just shared it on in the Albany Forward group. If y'all have not joined the Albany Forward group, please do so. Everything exciting is in there, please including this live.
Right, that's what I was gonna say. You can always catch this stream, the playbacks on the Albany Forward page on Facebook, as well as FreeWeb.network. We are on Instagram, The Voices Radio, and we are on Nikki Live and Bigo Live. Just follow your girl Nixon Sparks. All right. We have multiple outlets for you to be able to join and tune in to get your dose of Marz Magik every week. All right, you can also tune in to WUTU's website, WUTU883FM.com. All right, so wherever you are, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, you always have access. How about that?
There it is. But shoot, so I got the qualifications up and the actual job posting here. The City of Albany, Georgia seeks applications for the position of city manager. The city manager reports to the Albany City Commission, which consists of the mayor and 6 commission members. The city manager provides leadership for the general fund and extensive enterprise operations, which are governed by the Albany Utility Board. The city has a total budget of $317 million, including $158 million in enterprise funds, and serves the community with 1,171 employees. This doesn't go well. In fact, I guess no. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It has more. But so Albany, located in Southwest Georgia, has a population of 70,000 people. That's rough. The city serves as the county seat for Doherty County and hosts 2 excellent public institutions of higher learning. Okay, crap. Let's get to the requirements.
Yeah. Titans. Shout out to y'all.
In addition, the successful candidate must have 7 years of progressive experience in local government. 7 years of progressive experience in local government.
What does that mean?
Local government. Hey, because see, that's subjective as a bit. But anyway, 7 years.
Because I'm over here like, I think I got about 10, 12, 15 under my belt.
You know, yeah. But and including extensive project management experience. In addition, the successful candidate will present strong leadership and communication skills, both oral and written, a capacity to work in the political environment, financial management ability, including trend assessment and forecasting, a working knowledge of financial statements, and experience working with state and federal regulatory bodies. An ability to interact productively with regional partners is also required. We'll skip on down. But the salary range for this position is $225,000 to $275,000.
Right.
Underwood and Company is assisting the city in this search. So Underwood and Company, which
is a consulting company,
is a consulting company that is led by Tom Berry out of Thomasville. They're out of Thomasville, Georgia, who this consulting company is. Look, they've opened it up to applications and they've got the address here. I'm gonna copy and paste this
into the link,
into the live.
And that's interesting because I'm just thinking, like, how many city managers have we had that have actually been from the city of Albany?
There you go. And been progressive.
Right. Because I just know in my adulthood, most of the city managers have not been here long. They don't usually stay long.
Yeah.
And
they're not progressive.
They're not.
They're
not progressive.
Hey, what the heck?
And they're not from here. They usually come from outside of the city.
There you go.
And it's like, I've never understood that concept. How does someone from outside come inside and expect to tell them what they need and how they need it? That's like when you ask the brother, like, where are you from? And it's like, Atlanta. Okay, but you from Atlanta. How you just gonna come here thinking your liquor store gonna go? You ain't asked the people out here.
Exactly.
Like, you didn't do your groundwork. Forget about the leadership following up with you. You didn't do your footwork in the beginning to be like, let's do a ride through, see what is missing, what is
some of the people here,
right?
All of that. Ain't no relationship. They don't care about establishing relationships. Right. It's all about establishing that money.
And then, like you said, somebody can come from outside quicker.
Yep.
And get things done, make some shape than we can. And usually, though, like when we talk about, and it sounds so stereotypical, yet it's like right in your face. When we talk about convenience stores, when we talk about liquor stores, when we talk about, it's Arabs, it's Indians.
That's it.
Koreans, Asians.
And so here's the thing, I
can't even say that our African and Caribbean brothers and sisters get that much heads up. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
nope.
If this white is right.
That's right.
Like our city can take out this $300 million budget and talk about allocations, and we'll support something like the bread house
or pickleball courts.
But we had an art park, but you didn't miss the whole art park to put up a brewery. Not
granted, like that's my thing. I wish they just would have relocated it.
But we talk about, just like we was talking about Oxford being located in Lee County.
Yeah.
Pretoria Fields is all the way out there, like Cuthbert going towards like.
No, Pretoria Fields in Dougherty County now. Pretoria Fields in Dougherty County.
Okay. They Fields ain't in Dougherty County.
Oh, well, what's that that's down there in Dougherty County that says Pretoria Fields on it? And
the building?
No, it's a plantation. I drove on it. I wasn't supposed to. I was trespassing like a kid. But like I was out there.
They got another field too though.
Ah, okay. Well, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt
it. Going to Comfort, and it's a big old sign saying Pretoria Fields this way.
Okay, I don't doubt it. Well, yeah.
But I'm just saying,
but still,
what was more important?
Exactly.
The art park and a space for creative expression for people in our community, or again, more beer.
More beer, Dad. Listen,
but we talk about a community that is poor. We talk about people that are stressed and depressed and oppressed and suppressed and repressed.
Yeah. That. The only reason why I can't go as hard as, against Pretoria Fields is because two things. One,
I get it.
They're locally based. They pay local taxes. They involve locally. And I know what's his name. The owner fellow. They
try.
So I gotta make room and give
They do, but I'm just saying.
Exactly. Big
but. It didn't have to be.
With the art park, exactly that. They should at the very least relocate the art park.
Whole lot of space in downtown Albany.
That's real.
Where Pretoria Fields could have been.
Very valid
When we talk about that space right there across from the Thrunatisca off the tracks.
Valid
when
point.
We talk about the spot across from the Hilton, that whole it
down
was
Washington, where that old Dixie next to V.O.I.C.E.S, all of that.
I'm just saying.
It's plenty of space.
So I'm not saying that Pretoria Fields is not a good thing, that they should not be in the city.
Yeah. We're just saying we need the art park. Stop playing. Yeah. Exactly. Because our young people out here need something.
Right.
I'm with
you. They need an art park, a love park.
There you go.
They need all type of parks. And then the parks that we have.
We need a water park.
And I'm not just talking about them little spritz of water.
Yeah, a little splash pad. Come out of splash. We need a full-fledged water park with slides and rain that come down from heaven.
But you put the Love gas station where we could have had
wonderful goddamn.
Man. And it could have been in honor of our sister Atlas
Coachman
Hawthorne.
I
mean, she was like the only person to transition during the Atlantic bombing, for the Olympics. It's like, bruh, how do we not honor our local
people died? There's no connection.
But it could have been Alice Coachman.
It could have been a lot of.
It could have been, it could.
Yeah.
And we have men who are doing great things too. And that's just like they want to pull us into the whole thing about Lockett. We ain't gonna get into it, but that was the whole thing.
Wait, which I like it? I said I like it.
Oh, you didn't see?
Kind of like when he got arrested.
Listen, got arrested about the truck.
Yeah, listen now. That was a mistake.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. But they'll pull us in where it's like, oh, hometown hero is now being banished and Sean because he like, bro, how, why, for what? Has he not done more good than bad?
Exactly.
Do you know this brother on a personal level? Like he really ain't all that bad of a person. He comes from good stuff.
Exactly.
His mama was one of my teachers at elementary.
I'm a lady though.
Great background, but that's how fast they'll get us to turn on ourselves.
That's it.
They'll pull us in. Exactly. So stop being distracted, people.
Please.
By these tactics and these strategies that are designed to keep us stagnated, to keep us in a space of hinder. We are the greatest. Albany would be no city without us. If we stop going to work, if we stop paying bills, what is going to happen?
Exactly.
I mean, let them continue to do what they doing. But if all of us said we ain't giving nothing else to Albany utilities, and we gonna do a big ass bonfire, and we just gonna light up the neighborhood with our lanterns and our canteen.
There it is. There's 70+% of the people taking action. And I think because folks might hear that and be like, I don't have no lamps and lanterns. But the point that you're making is the brain that's like a home. If all 70+% of the Black folks in this community come together and do one action, whatever that thing is, it's gonna change everything. It'll change everything here.
And it's crazy because I feel like we are repeating the 60s. I ain't walking off my job.
There you go.
Why are you scared? You don't believe in your worth and the value that you bring to this job. Because you know you're replaceable.
There you go. It was coonish Negroes still riding the bus during the bus boycotts. I ain't fooling with them Negroes. I'm going to ride this bus. Okay. And then I hope, well, anyway, who knows what happened to those people. Right. But look at it. Wait. We need to come together.
We have to. We must. It's a necessity. Like, and until we do, y'all keep complaining, and we gonna keep doing the things that we need to do to bring about change.
There you go.
Until next time, I'm Nexus.
Oh, I'm Adam.
And this has been your weekly dose of Marz Magik, brought to you by V.O.I.C.E.S Radio, where valuable opportunities inspire collaborations to elevate society. If you don't do nothing else, get up, get out, and get active. Whether it's mentally, physically, spiritually, or financially, do something that is going to bring about a better way of living for you and those around you that you love and you care about. All right? Because sometimes, like, it ain't about really covering up the phone. It's more about letting it go. All right? So stop being pulled into the matrix and actually work on a strategy of your own to get up out of there. All right? Until next time, peace, love, divine light. We out. And this is the Brother Ben X, Struggle to Success. But if I did not